Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here at my Joe Boo's day job, and as always we're building something in here Monday through Sunday because the work never stops. I've actually got a couple projects that are going on right now. Over here we've been working on a 1830s farmhouse, and it's got some termite damage, and there's some of the stair treads that ended up being eaten up by termites. I've already replaced 3 of them, but this is actually another one that I've made as well. I've put a nice bull nose on here, and these are some pieces from an 1820s house that we laminated together for some other things and a piece left over. But we've gone through, we're going to have to varnish this up so that way we can replace the stair tread. And the reason why you're looking at this color and the wood and stuff is it's antique heart pine. You can't buy this wood anymore because the trees don't grow anymore. But this is what most of the homes were built of years ago, and we're trying to replicate what's already in there. We're doing a couple of projects in that house. We also are replacing some door frames and stuff, and we have, look over here, solid wood up here. These are actually the door jambs. The door jambs themselves are 16 inches wide because they're going around bricks, and we've made custom molding for it. Over here, this is the beginning of a entertainment center, believe it or not. What things have evolved in entertainment centers, and we have a 70-inch TV that's going to go above this. We have a ceiling that goes off at an angle. So these are going to be the base cabinets for the unit. They have an infant, so we're going to end up using magnetic locks so that way the child can't get into it. But we're going to make the bookcases go up and map the ceiling. So this will be another really nice project. But we're going to do something, instead of building 3 upper cabinets, this is where it gets to be interesting. What we're going to do is, we're going to build one right here all the way up, and we're going to build another one right here all the way up, and then we'll put a bridge across and have adjustable shelving. So that way it's a little less wood and a little less work to do, but it will still give you the effect of having 3 separate bookcases. And the final thing is, one thing I always try and do is every day I try and do something to improve myself as well as my living situation. So be that building or touching up some molding with some paint, or caulking some molding, or building a little something. As long as every day I do something, then you kind of stay ahead of all the maintenance that you have at your home, and you can put yourself in a better situation. And if you do that with your life as well, trust me, just do a little bit of something to make your job easier, or to learn something new. If you do that, it may be small things, but all those small things add up to something big. So, for my outdoor kitchen, I love cooking outside, as you guys know, and I cook outside more. Let me get this real quick. Don't want the compressor to go off while I'm working here and disturb you guys. I love cooking, and cooking, you need to be able to get to stuff real quick. If you're a single cook and all that, and you know, the one guy, you're running back and forth. One of the things I absolutely positively hate in kitchen cabinets is shelves that are down low, and people pile up all their pots and pans and stuff in there, and there's no organization. You got to pull out everything to get to it. Well, one of the things I always do in kitchens is I will go through and do pull-out shelves down low. And here's the great thing about it is you've got the full access of it. You pull it out, you can set in your frying pan or your pots, and you can see it. And when it's done, it slides back in, and you can get more stuff in there, and it makes it easier to get. So my outdoor kitchen, I've already built 2 inside the cabinets. I'm going to put 1 down on the bottom. Now, because it's going outdoors, we're using Western cedar, which is a wood that holds up, of course, really, really well in the outdoors. And we're actually making it out of solid wood. We're not using plywood because of the weather and stuff, it'll rot out. This will make it last a lot longer. And what we've done is we've taken some pieces, and you can see we've cut a dado slot in here. This is where this piece will go together with it, and we'll shoot a few nails in it with some glue. And you can see here, this groove, these are actually our bottom of our shelves. They're going to fit into that groove as well. You can see I've rounded over the edges there, so it's got a nice little smooth touch on it, no splinters. And we'll end up putting all of these in here across, just like that. Nail it together, and it'll be able to breathe. Having the little space between, in between here, if it gets wet, the water will be able to go through, drain out, and also allow air to be able to go through, between the heating and cooling, to let it expand and contract and keep the moisture stuff down. Thus, hopefully, making this last a lot longer. And so we have a series of pieces that'll go just like that. And so it'll be a nice look, kind of an old style look. It'll be functional, and it'll go with the theme that I have outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and nail all this stuff together. Got to turn on the compressor. Slide out of the cabinet, stainless steel, real easy, for years of use. And what I can also do is, I can actually get some plastic, if you go to like a restaurant supply house, is get some of the plastic containers with covers on them, and they can fit right into this. Now another thing I also did too is I made the cabinets extra deep. So this is actually 26 inches deep. So you got lots of storage space that can actually go in there. Now all we got to do now is put it in the cabinet and we're good to go. Oh, let me show you the slides that I use. Buy these from my supply house, and instead of, if you go to your home centers, these cost you about $15 a set. If you go to your supply house, to your building suppliers, you can actually buy like a case of like 10 for about $70, so it's like half the price. But you can see it's stainless steel and it's all ball bearing, and so it'll give us years and years of use. So let's go outside and get these put in. Okay, so this is actually our outdoor kitchen cabinets and things. I've done actually a couple of different things with this. This is actually some granite that I had from a project that was left over that we used for our countertop. We built a nice sub base for this. With pressure treated plywood and then cement board on here, and we made this little cover over here because of course being outside we get leaves and things in here, so we can have access to the sink just by taking this off and just setting it onto the side. And to make it more functional, we made this actually a little bit taller than normal, so I'd have more space inside the cabinets. So we've got plenty of cabinet space in here. We've got actually a little refrigerator freezer combination. We got the separate refrigerator freezer because when you get the small refrigerators with the one door, the freezer never really freezes, but you can actually see this freezer up here freezes hard as a rock, so we can actually save our food and everything else. It's real good. And use this for like a prep kitchen for cooking out here. So, we have a barbecue, we've got hamburgers and hot dogs ready to go. Just turn around and go on the grill. But I'm trying to organize myself. And like I was saying, it's terrible when you try and get stuff that's down underneath here. It's just hard to get the location. So what we've done is we built pull-out shelves and drawers in here. So this is where I was talking about getting a plastic container. So in here I've got my cutting boards, I've got my knives and things like that. I can always just take that in, wash it and bring it back. And this is actually lined with the PVC, so that's wipeable. You can wipe it down. And here you see we already have another one of our drawers. The great thing is, let me turn the camera down, is you can see I can pull it out and I can easily grab the stuff that's back in here and make it organized. I got these great little buckets right here that I can keep all my spices and things, and I can just come over here and set it on the shelf while I'm cooking. And when I'm done, boom. So we're going to put one more shelf down at the bottom, so that way we can get the rest of our pans and stuff in here and get it really nice and organized. Now when I built this cabinet, We'll bring you down some more here so you can see. This cabinet is actually made out of pine. The frame structure and all that is actually 2x4s. Real simple. 2x4 slats here on the bottom. And we have it so that way it can breathe. So that way if it rains or gets wet, it'll drain out, and of course it lets the air be able to circulate it. This is just a false front that's here, and there's another one in the back. So I've got to actually take and put a spacer right in here so that way I can screw my drawer slides too. These drawer slides, they're actually really simple. They've got holes in here, and what's nice about this is you'll notice how it's kind of open in here. This is actually so it'll self-adjust. If it ends up being that, you know, you're a 1/4 inch short of the space, what'll happen is these will pull and stretch out and fit it so it gets a good slide. And they're ball bearings, so they end up being really, really strong. So I'm going to go ahead and tack in my kickers, and I'm going to go ahead and put this drawer in here so we can get function. And pull the stuff out that's going to be going into it. Waffle iron. And like that, look at that. Now we can really get organized, and we'll be ready for those barbecues. Anything we need, we're gonna have easy access to. And I just can't wait to get cooking. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, we are ready for barbecue. I'll see you guys later.